And when it comes to genes, your genes are neither good nor bad. Kind of like Dr. Leland said last night about copper. Copper's not a bad thing. We need the minerals in right amounts in our body because that actually prevents a lot of diseases. The problem that people have is they're not educated by their primary care physicians about the MTHFR gene and what you need to do if you have that gene. So basically, and 40% of you watching, including me and my family, we've got the MTHFR gene. So I'm very familiar with MTHFR, MTRR. I mean, I could talk about the COMT, MAO, like there's all these different genes that affect different pathways in your body, which ultimately affect detoxification. Okay, so the MTHFR is a fancy way of saying it affects detoxification. So if you're a person who's a slow detoxifier, let's say you get sick, it takes a long time to get better, you've got brain fog, maybe you've had chronic infections, maybe you're a person who's had cancer, maybe you're a person who's been had autoimmune diseases, chronic inflammation, we can just go on and on and on. A lot of people have the MTHFR gene and their bodies are not detoxifying correctly. So the first thing I can tell you that is not dealing with the patches. I'm going to tell you the solution with the patches because it's what changed our life. After spending tens of thousands of dollars on gene testing, nutritional counseling with that gene testing, supplementation, I mean, literally thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of supplementation. And you know, the number one thing that took Rocco's mitochondria from very poor functioning all the way to off the charts good, the X39 patch in 1 month. In fact, the gal that was doing the testing for Rocco said, holy cow, what did you do to Rocco? He no longer has a mitochondrial need. So when they do this different types of muscle testing, they do for what is the greatest need in the body. And in Rocco's case, it was his mitochondria for a year straight. This is crazy, right? And so what happened was, and you want your mitochondria because that's like the powerhouse of the cell. So we had spent tens of thousands of dollars. I'd even tried other network marketing products. One was called Nerf2. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. I had tried a crap ton of products. Our practitioner in Minneapolis, we had bought I would say tens of thousands worth of dollars worth of products. And what happened was we got the X39 patches. We put them on all of us, including Rocco. We went back to an appointment 1 month later, and the gal that was testing Rocco said, what on earth did you do with Rocco? His mitochondrial need is completely gone, and his mitochondria is amazing in the last 30 days, right? So the reason it works so effectively for people that have detoxification problems is because the patch doesn't have to be filtered through your stomach, your liver, or your kidneys, right, guys? So if you have to take a supplement orally, it has to be filtered through your stomach, your liver, and your kidneys. Well, if you have crappy stomach and kidney and liver functioning, it's not assimilating correctly. So the patch is magical for people with MTHFR. Let me tell you specifically what I would say is X39. I would also say EON to pull the body out of fight or flight because people that have the MTHFR, they're chronically in a state of inflammation. Chronic inflammation over time will lead to heart disease, heart attacks, strokes, cancers, all kinds of things. So you got to pull the body back to it's called parasympathetic, and that's done with the EON patch. Hi. Hey, Rocco, would you let her out to go potty just real quick right there? She's have to go. I'm gonna go potty. Yeah, she's got to go. She's a baby. Anyway, and so that was kind of first things first. And so X39, EON. Now let's talk about glutathione for a second. And so the glutathione patch is incredible. It actually increases your glutathione 300% in a 24-hour period, according to a blood draw that the company did studying the effects of it. But here's the thing. Glutathione is the master antioxidant. Arguably, I would argue that melatonin and glutathione are equally as important. And you guys can have an argument with me about that. But melatonin is where your body heals. It cleans the brain. I feel like glutathione is for the head down. And I feel like melatonin is like from here up because it cleans the brain and helps so many mechanisms of the body. Literally the glymphatic system, it's called, not your lymphatic system, but your glymphatic system, which is like cleaning your brain at night while you're sleeping. But anyway, if people are very, very sick, you can't start with the glutathione patch. It's too much detoxification so fast. Listen, if your body starts to detoxify, never ever stop when you get symptoms. When you get symptoms of detoxification, it means your body is getting rid of the crap. Your body's getting rid of the poison. Your body's getting rid of the heavy metals. Your body's getting rid of the sludge. Your body's getting rid of the disease, essentially. And that's going to be sometimes unpleasant. But what you don't want to do is just slam your foot on the gas. What you do want to do is love and support the body and increase your electrolytes, increase your salt, which is why they told you not to take salt, the sons of the guns. Increase your Celtic salt, take Epsom salt baths, be kind to yourself. You know, I love when Dr. Leland said, you know, if you go through detoxification when you get on the patch, you can't just stop when you start to detoxify, because it'd be like someone getting in a plane and every time there was turbulence, the plane would turn around and go back home. No one would get to their desired destinations, right? But we're not trained from our medical community. You guys should hit the share button on this. We're not trained from our medical hierarchy to tell us that detoxification is actually a good thing and to weather the storm a little bit. And what you need to do is, like, I mean, if you're face down and you feel like you're dying, okay, take your foot off the gas, you know, take the patch off your body, get an Epsom salt soak, take some extra electrolytes, get a massage, go in some sauning, go for a nice walk in the sunlight, get some sun on your eyes, sunlight on the eyes, right? We need to do these things, and that's going to help our body to actually detoxify more efficiently, right? And so, but if you are, you know, scared because now you're having a detox reaction and you're not trained that that's a good thing, because in our medical community, they taught us to suppress every symptom. You got a fever, suppress it. You got a cold, suppress it. You got the flu, suppress it. They want you to suppress everything. But what that does is that doesn't allow your body's natural detoxification. Our body was created to rid itself of disease. Let me say that again. You can put that quote on Facebook. Our bodies were naturally created by God to rid themselves of disease. Wow. What a revolutionary thought from my Father in heaven. My God designed me to heal. I am healed. I am detoxifying. I am well, right? And so, but we've not been trained like that. So what happens as soon as a little detox hits, I got a headache, I got this, I got that. People are like, oh my God, maybe it's the patch. And I'm like, maybe it's your body ridding itself of the cancer and the poisons. Maybe you need to keep your foot on the gas pedal, but love yourself and assist yourself in that healing mechanism, right? If it gets to be too much where you're face down, you feel like you're going to die, my goodness gracious, then you really need electrolytes, and you really need to start caring for yourself in the sunlight and nourishing yourself with massage and deep breathing. And you need to do a lot of healing if you get really, really sick. Now, if you have the MTHFR gene, let's go back to that. The reason the patches work so well is because they don't have to filter to the stomach, liver, or kidneys. So if you have detox mechanisms that are kind of hitched up or hiccuped because of those genes, again, you don't have good genes or bad genes, you just got genes, and you got to learn how to work with them and know what to do, right? And so my advice is, if you have the MTHFR, you need definitely plenty of electrolytes. You definitely need a methylated B vitamin, okay? And you can go to an integrated physician or someone who's going to muscle test you, or you can muscle test yourself. We muscle test ourselves, right? And so methylated B vitamin and multi-mineral supplement. But then as far as patches, you're going to see a great gain in your mitochondria production. For those of you that have poor mitochondria production, which I could talk that language all day long, you need the X39 with electrolytes, and you also need the Eon to pull your body out of the fight or flight state back to the parasympathetic called rest and repair. And then the third thing, I wouldn't use the glutathione patch right away. Remember that the X39 will actually increase your glutathione production of your body 30% just with the X39 patch, just with the patch that activates the GHK-CU peptide that activates your stem cells. That patch will activate glutathione production 30%. But once you've been through that with the X39 and the Eon, you could go ahead and add, yes, the glutathione patch after maybe a couple of weeks, because then your body is ready to increase that glutathione 300%. If you're very, very sickly and you put a glutathione patch on, you might just feel like you got run over. So I think it's too fast, too hard for some people. So start with the X39 first and then work yourself up to the glutathione patch. Does that make any sense? Do you guys have any questions on that? This is a great, great, great video to share with somebody. I'm here to tell you also another thing. If you have not heard my rant on homocysteine, if you have the MTHFR gene, especially if you have a variant of it with 667, I don't need to talk about that right now, but if you got that variant in there where you have more clotting and things like that, you know, homocysteine is one of the highest predictors of heart disease, blood clots, heart attacks, along with fibrinogen levels. By the way, the GHK-CU peptide that's activated by our X39 patch has been clinically proven, that peptide has been clinically proven to reduce fibrinogen. Fibrinogen levels is the biggest predictor of heart disease. But again, back to the MTHFR, if you've got that gene, you might want to go get your homocysteine checked. Some people say that if you have birthmarks on your body, that if you had a birthmark on your body, that could be an indicator of the MTHFR gene. I'm not 100% sold on that, but it's a possibility. You can muscle test for it. I muscle test everything. You can actually look at a blood draw. It's unfortunate that they don't just test our genes and tell us, hey, you need a multivitamin. You know, here's the thing. If you have the MTHFR gene, you need to take a multivitamin, a methylated B complex, along with a multimineral the rest of your life. Okay? In addition to getting really great nutrition, you need to take a methylated. So let me tell you, if you go get your homocysteine tested, it's a $26 test that could literally prevent heart disease, heart attacks, and strokes. And your doctor won't want to do it because they say it doesn't matter. Don't listen to that. Listen to what I'm telling you. I know one of the best heart doctors who is a cardiologist. His father was a cardiologist out in Arizona. One of the first tests he administers, you come to his practice, which charges $10,000 for you to come there. I'm giving you this information today for free. One of the first tests he administers with you is the homocysteine test. So go get that done. 26 bucks. Okay. You want your homocysteine probably between about 5 and 8. Okay. So if it's up in the 20s, you need to get it down. But here's how you get it down. You can actually take a supplement that has vitamin B12, okay, methylated, it's called methylcobalamin, B6, methylfolate, not just folic acid. Folic acid, if you have the MTHFR gene and you're taking folic acid in your energy drinks and your multivitamins, it's literally clogging your folate receptors. You will feel worse with folic acid. Okay, so quit the folic acid is an artificial it's an artificial of the folate. Folate comes from foliage, by the way. If you're eating a crap ton of leafy greens, you have all the folate you need, but you're not eating enough, apparently. So B12 there's different types of B12 called cobalamin. There's one that's called cyanocobalamin, which is from cyanide, actually. People that don't have MTHFR, they can get away with taking cyanocobalamin, which is kind of a cheap form of it. But if you have the MTHFR gene, you cannot take cyanocobalamin. It will make you feel worse. Again, you need methylcobalamin. It's almost like it needs an additional little helper to make sure that your body's assimilating if you've got this MTHFR business. So again, methylcobalamin, methylfolate. Research now shows that vitamin B2, it's called riboflavin. It's orange when you take it. That actually helps to break down homocysteine levels. And then something you maybe have never heard of, it's called TMG. It's called trimethylglycine. Trimethylglycine is amazing at increasing stomach acid. You can also do a betaine hydrochloride, which again, hydrochloride is created by salt. Our government told us to quit eating the right kind of salt, jerks. But betaine hydrochloride combined with trimethylglycine will increase your stomach acid, and your body will actually start to break down all of this crap that's sitting in your system, so you quit getting diseases. So anyway, but you can buy, like there's a great supplement by Seeking Health called Homocystex. Dr. Ben Lynch, he wrote the book Dirty Genes. I've read it like 10 times. But anyway, Homocystex will break down your homocysteine if you test it and it is high, okay? You want to get that under control so you don't have heart problems. And so, okay, I could talk all day. My brain is so full of this kind of information, and I don't come live and do a lot of this anymore because I'm so focused on the patches, because our doctors are seeing more in 7 days with their patients patching than they saw in 6 months of them working with them. Like I said, we were doctoring for a full year. All kinds of nutraceuticals, supplements, gene testing. I mean, my God, you name it. We did it all. And one patch, the X39, increased mitochondrial production of our bodies like 1,000-fold. So if you have a mitochondrial issue or you know somebody who does, make sure they get on the patch, okay? Get a hold of me if you need the patch, or get a hold of the person that invited you in this video if you need the patch, because the patch will change your life. It will save your life, probably. True story. And so that's that. Anything else I want to say, or maybe we should just go on with a little dancing? You guys enjoy this? Did you learn anything? My goal is always for you to leave you guys better. Ready? Let me see if we can have a good song on here. Ready? Oh, Roxette. Come on, give me Roxette. Hang on a second. Any questions before I leave, guys, about MTHFR or method? Oh! Oh! Come on. Whew. Sing it with me. Watch this from the beginning and share with everybody you know that has MTHFR. Nothing to be scared of. Just learn how to know how to work with your genes.